Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Beth, if you don't know me. I am an artist with SEINT, and today we're just going to be getting ready together, talking about some trips I have coming up, as well as talking about some new releases that SEINT has for Mother's Day that began on the 30th and run through the 10th. So let's get started. All right. Speaking of our new releases, I'm going to be using some of that today. I did an eye look a few days ago with one of the collections, so excited to get into a different one today. I do apologize if in the background you hear a cat. She is wanting in the room with me, and I'm not letting her in because she will get up on my table and I will not be able to do anything. But she gets rather loud when she doesn't get her way. So, all right, to begin with, SEINT is releasing for Mother's Day. Again, the sale will go from the 30th until the 10th. The 30th, it launches at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and the discounts will end and the special collections will end on the 10th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. For the palettes that I'm going to be showing you, as well as another exciting new introduction to our line, those will continue while supplies last. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And to get started, we do have 4 new palette collections. They are palette 4s. I bought 2 of them. We do have 4. So be sure to check out my link to see the others. But this one's name is, I'm still learning the names, excuse me, this one's name is Kindred. And I just love this because it's like, I believe they're like little roses, but they're just beautiful. And the pattern goes all the way around. Got some of my eyeshadows in there. And this one is Keepsake. Keepsake, it kind of reminds me of just a field of like, I don't know, poppies, or it's not poppies, it's really wildflowers, but something about this reminds me, I think it kind of reminds me of The Wizard of Oz. Just the original, of course, just the field of flowers, and something about the poppies, it reminds me of this, even though there's not poppies on it. But anyway, again, with this, colors go all the way around, and it does hold 4 full size or 8 of our eyeshadows. So I just wanted to let you know that. And today we are actually going to use actually no, we're not going to use the ones in those. We are going to use one of our collection of 4 eyeshadows that SEINT has put together. They're just all stunning. All 4 colors work beautifully together in each of the collections, and they work really well with each other across the line. There's not really any that don't work with each other across the whole of the 4 separate collections of 4. These are discounted. They will be $39 for 4 tens, and they're curated to work together. The discount does end on the 10th. However, the eyeshadows, while supplies last, of course, will still be available on the website after that. They just won't be available in a collection. They also do not come in a palette. I have mine in palettes today, but they do not come with a palette. They just come individually. But great gift to get a palette, get some eyeshadows. Great Mother's Day gift. Again, all 4 of the collections of 4 will be $39, which is a $17 discount from our normal pricing. And then, of course, if we have eyeshadows, we have to have brushes. So 4 of our most favorite brushes are going to be discounted this week, or excuse me, for the next 10 days. 25% off. So we have our eyeshadow brush, which I'll be using today. Actually, I'll be using all of these today. We have our line brush. All of our brushes are multi-ended, they're double-ended. And then we have the smudge brush. This is great for outside corners, contouring the nose, multiple things. And this is our multitasker brush. This literally can do it all. This is great for lining the eyes. This side is great for pressing on some of our shimmers. Sometimes shimmers are easier to do with this if they have a lot of fallout. Other times it's easier to just apply it with your finger, but if you don't like to apply with your finger, the multitasker is great. I use this a lot, as you can probably tell, because it's got a pinkish hue, for putting my main lip color on, and this for lining my lips if I'm not using some type of pencil. All right, let's get into it. I am a little shorter on time today, so I gotta keep an eye on my time. Today, I'm gonna show you, I've been in the other videos showing you different methods of how you can do your makeup based on using as few colors as possible, as more colors, not as possible, but with more colors. And then today I'm going to show you what I typically do. I do the other ways often, but I don't always. I like this method that I'm getting ready to do today the best. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm getting my notes open on which eyeshadows we're going to use today. So today I'm going to use the Manor collection, and this is the Manor collection. I like to do typically my eyes first because I am heavy-handed sometimes and I have more fallout, so I can clean it up better that way. So that's why I don't have my makeup on yet. We're going to do our eyeshadows first, but this is the collection today, and this is called Manor, and it has, let me see here, this is Butterscotch, and this is Zion, and then we have Drift and Bright Eyes. So Butterscotch, Bright Eyes, Zion, and Drift. Drift I use quite often. I think this might be my second one of these. I have a lot of colors. I tend to have two of because I have them in different places. If it's something that's a favorite, I tend to have two because I like to either keep it in my car or keep it in my purse, things like that. If you keep SEINT makeup in your car, you do want to make sure that you put it inside the console to where the heat can't get to it directly. I haven't had any problems with putting it inside of my console. If you leave it out, you will have a melted mess because SEINT makeup is creams and they do melt. And as hot as it is lately, it will definitely melt. So, all right. I always try my best to remember to prime my eyes. SEINT does not have a specific primer other than you can use your main shade to color correct your eyes. But for longevity, I found that the Sigma stick, I got it off of Amazon, works really well. And you just put it on your eyes. I try to put it a little heavier where my main discoloration is. And then I use just a different brush. This is a brush I just use only for putting this on because I don't want other colors to mix in with it. Oh, need to put my bangs out of the way. I always forget to do that. My little swoop here. I love having bangs, but when you're trying to do this, it's not always the easiest. So that little part is not going to stay. All right, there we go. I think that's better. All right, you want to do this quickly because it does dry rather quickly, but it leaves a nice tacky is how I would describe it. It doesn't feel tacky, but like it doesn't move. One of the last videos I did, I put it on my hand just to kind of show the color that I put, and I had to wash it off with a good scrub of soap and water to get it off. So basically I like doing that because I do have some darkening on my mobile lid, and putting that on just helps make my tones more even. So that's why I like to do that. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm actually going to go into Drift first because a lot of makeup artists, by the way, I am not a makeup artist. I'm an artist with SEINT, but it's artist, it gets confusing. But I just love makeup. Wanted to start sharing it with you all. a lot of people, makeup artists especially, will put your the highlight color, that little peak of shimmer, last. I found that, again, I tend to be a little heavy-handed, so I found that I wasn't doing it justice, I guess is a good way, because I just want it to kind of peek out. So I put it on first. That way, as I'm putting on my other colors, I don't get way high with my other colors. But this, if I put it on last, I tend to put too much, because you can see I have very lids that some days they're droopier than others. I don't really understand that. I guess maybe if I'm more tired. Today they're a little droopier, so I'll try to open them up. Anyway, I just found that I was putting too much because I put kind of a thick line. This way takes care of it with the transition color I'm getting ready to put on, and I don't tend to have any problems, but yet I get that peekaboo of color coming out from it. So, all right. So again, we're using the eyeshadow brush. I dipped into Drift first, and it has a nice slight shimmer to it. Now we're going to go with Butterscotch using the fluffy end. I'm going to just tap into it. You always want to tap off any excess. And since I do have hooded eyes, I want to kind of go at an angle to make sure to get it. Now, as you can see, I only did 2 little taps, and Butterscotch has quite a bit of pigment. So you just want to do very lightly, hold your brush back a little bit. And then I actually may even have enough to do over here. I'm going to dull it down a little bit after I get it thinned out. So if you don't want it to be so dark as I have it, then just one very, very light tap. Butterscotch is very deceiving. As you can see, kind of got that orangey tone, and it is very pigmented. All of our stuff is, but this one I find to be even more so than others. I'm just going to bring a little light wash across the eye. Okay, so we said we were going to talk travel today. My son is getting ready to graduate. Let's see here, next Thursday, so a week from today. And he he went for computer engineering at NC State and is graduating. He will be going on to graduate school. NC State has a great program to where he is able to work on his graduate degree while still working on his 4-year degree. So he'll only have 1 more year. But we wanted to do something special with him. He is the baby of the family. We have 2 daughters and a son. Our daughters are the ones that have given me my grandbabies. And so we just wanted to do something special with him. So he loves Legos, of course. It's the engineering brain, I think. But that just didn't seem the appropriate gift for his graduation. A lasting kind of thing. Although they last, we have a whole room full of his collection displayed. Anyway, so we decided that we are going to take him on a a 5-day cruise. It is shorter than some of the ones we like to do, but we're going to take him on that just to celebrate his accomplishments. And so that's one of our trips coming up. We typically travel Carnival, and hold that thought, I will get right back to that. So, because it's hard for me to do 2 things at once. Okay, next we are going to go into Bright Eyes. And I'm actually going to put Bright Eyes on my finger. Bright Eyes has like a coppery gold sheen to it. And I'm just going to put that right here, kind of half to the outside and a little to the inside too. We're just going to play with this today a little bit. And then I'm going to use Drift as well, because this is a little more of a glam look than I want today with going out with my friend. Okay, so there's that coppery look to it. Now, don't worry, I know this probably looks scary right now because I don't have the rest of my face on, but it will look great by the time we're done. And then I'll take this and just kind of thin that out. So yes, so we typically go on Carnival. I think we're going on Carnival Freedom this time. Haven't been on that ship. We've been on really small ones, the really big ones. Honestly, we a lot of times like the older ones better, but there's great things about the newer ones too. But Freedom is kind of not super old, but definitely not new. I think it's one of the older ones. So anyway, all right. So we have that on, and now I am going to take Zion and get my smudge brush. I'm going to use the dome side of Zion, or the smudge brush for Zion. Put it just a little bit on, and we're going to create depth in this outer corner with this. Bring it over just a little. Then I'm going to flip it and use that to blend it. So I'm really excited. However, of course, anytime of graduation, big trip, chaos ensues. So things are a little bit busy lately. And then, of course, hanging out with my grandbabies a couple days a week too. So full life. Love it. But tired sometimes. All right, going to flip back over to the other side, do the other eye. I never can get these even. Don't know what it is. I guess it's just the sides. Sorry, my cat is like having a fit wanting to get in here with us. So just going to blend this up, give it some depth, blend it over. I love this brush because it's kind of just almost like a one and done. You just put it on and there you go. And then last but not least, I'm going to take Drift and tone that center part down a little bit with that coppery. And then kind of blend it together. And then I'm going to do the other side. All right. I just kind of like to blend them a little bit. I love the way the colors look that way. Now, if you ever feel like you get too heavy-handed, you can just use your brush, make sure that it doesn't have any excess on it, and just kind of swirl and get it off. There we go. Because I did get a little heavy-handed with the butterscotch. That's okay though. But you see why I did it the way I did it? The shimmer is still coming out above my at the brow now. Maybe tone that down just a little bit. All right. You'll also notice, this is one of the reasons I do my eyeshadow first most of the time. I tend to get heavy-handed out here. We're going to clean that up in just a few minutes. So, all right, got that on. I'm going to take my lash leather. I love this. I do 2B mascara because I have tried so many mascaras. I don't know if I have oily lids, lashes, what it is, or under eyes, or if I just have long lashes. I do think I have kind of long lashes, but I always get, even with a lot of waterproof, always get the black raccoon eyes, I call it. But with the 2B mascara, I don't. There's two brands I use. I use Thrive and I use SEINT. Because both of them, I get longevity. I never get raccoon eyes, and it just stays put. And if you do get anything, it's where you scratch your eye and you get little flakes, I guess is a good way to say it. But they don't smear even at that. So that's why I like to use the 2B mascara. And SEINT has a great one. So again, I'm trying to learn to not blink, but it's almost impossible because that's just how I learned to put mascara on. It's not that it's wrong. It's just you can tend to clump up a little more. But I will say, since I've been using a mirror up close, I don't get as much clumping in my problem zones as I used to. And I always like to put Some people don't put mascara down here. Oh, I did forget to do something under my eyes. I'll go back to it. I forgot to put a little bit of liner down there with the colors. Every once in a while I forget to do that. But anyway, I found that using the mirror up close, I do so much better at getting it even than just, you know, because a lot of times you'll try to get really close like that to whatever in the car or whatever, or you'll just stay back and not worry about it. But having it right here does really make a difference. Now on the bottom, I don't put a lot unless I am going to something special. But you want to get good at the base and just do a lot of swipes. Okay. What I forgot to do is smudge some of the shadow on that lower line. So I'm going to take this again, and I think I'm going to use Butterscotch really, really lightly. And then just come down under here. And it just kind of smokes the eye out a little bit. All right. Let's see here. Checking my time. All right. So I think we're good with that. Then you take your brush, come up under here. And there you go for this eye look. I will be back in just a moment with a full face and tell you the colors that I used so that I'm not late for lunch with my friends. But again, this is the Manor collection. They launched today, and it's just beautiful with blue eyes, really any eyes, but blue eyes, these colors really tend to make them pop. And hope you like it as much as I do, and I'll see you in just a minute. All right, here is my finished look. The only thing I don't have is our last new product launch for Mother's Day, our lip oils. I wanted to wait to show you to put this on. We currently have lip oils that are very sheer. They have a scent to them, and they're wonderful. There's no stickiness to the lip oils. They're very, I guess emollient's the best word. I love the lip oils, but they are, the ones we have currently tend to be better over top of color. These are highly pigmented lip oils in 4 of our most loved colors. The one I have today is Desert Sunset, and the other ones will be in nude, black cherry, and sangria. So those are some of our most loved colors, and they're bringing them in our lip oils. Now, let me show you the difference on, well, I can't show you the difference, but I can show you how, because I forgot to put, but see how nicely pigmented that is? And again, this is Desert Sunset. And you just put it on. It's just a very nice, neutral lip. You can build it up for a little more color. And yeah, I like that. I don't know that it needs anything else. Sometimes I'll put a little lip line on. I didn't today, but one thing, I'm going to try something really quick. Where did it go? Look here. I think it's over here in this palette. Okay, so we also have, let me just show you really quick. This is Desert Sunset in the lip and cheek. So we have it. So Desert Sunset and lip and cheek, and then with the new lip oil. So very similar. But what some people will do is put the lip and cheek under this, or you could even line with it, which I want to see if it makes any difference in how it looks. So No, just blends in nicely. That gave me a little more defined line. I wouldn't normally line with this, but I just wanted to see, because it's a little lighter than normal to line. I wanted to see what it would do. Yeah, so it just blends in nicely. So obviously you wouldn't line with that, but we're playing with makeup, so that's what I wanted to do. So, but if you do want to build the color up around the edge, that's not a bad idea. If you do want a little bit more of a color, let me see what this one is. I think this one might be a good one. I think this is nude. That might not be dark enough. Let me see. Let me try. I'll just try it. I do want a little, nope, nude is too close. That's what I figured, but I wasn't sure. All right, we are gonna go with, now normally you do the lining before, but I'm just playing around with it. So this is Rosewood. It's more of a kind of a, looks terracotta in the tin, to me anyway. Yeah, that gives a nice. Again, just play with your makeup. If you forget your lip liner, then hard to put it on later. It may not have as much longevity because I have the lip oil, but there's nothing wrong. You can do it your way. All right. I do like that added a little bit more oomph to my lips. So, all right. Well, that is it. If I don't leave now, I'm going to be late for my lunch with my friend. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the different new things that SEINT has. I love the lip oil so much, I ended up buying the other 3 colors. I only bought Desert Sunset to begin with, and I just really like it. Even now, after it's been on my lips for a few minutes, it's just so silky and smooth, and I just love it. Your lips will feel so hydrated when you're using it, and so I just bought the others too. So once I get those in, I will show them to you, and that is it for today. I hope you have a great day. I am going to do a video later today to see how all of this plays out. Because I ended up having to cut it short, I did not share with you specifically what I did with the rest of the colors, other than I do have Frenchie and Desert Sunset on my cheeks. But I will list all of that in the comments of the colors that I used today so that you'll have them if you're interested. But again, on my cheeks with Frenchie, but then just on my lips are Desert Sunset and lined with Rosewood. And of course, we use the Manor collection on my eyes. But I'll give more details in the comments on this video. And I hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend coming up. The sun is back out here in North Carolina. Very happy, but we did need the rain. So was happy to have the rain too. Have a great day. And remember, blend, but don't blend in. Bye-bye.